What's that? Your new amplifier didn't come with a birth certificate? Like mine did. Pay for $400, get $556. This is not the cheapest amplifier out there if you're looking for something on a budget. And I can never imagine anybody going out and buying an amazing Harley Davidson full beautiful motorcycle and putting some horrible junk in there. It just makes me go. Reward yourself. Get yourself something with some nice quality. Everything in this box screams quality. So before I get into full boat review mode, let me just show you what's in here. Of course, there's this guide which shows you the performance that you're getting on your specific amplifier was tested at the factory prior to it getting packaged up and getting in your hands. You got here a high-level 4-pin harness. You'll notice that there is an absence of a remote lead. There's no blue remote lead. This thing is auto-sensing, so you don't need that any longer. And that's a good thing, especially on a motorcycle or a UTV, because this thing is really made for the outdoor elements. If you're not using it for that or a marine application, you're really not benefiting from everything that this thing has, because this thing is built like a tank, okay? Also here you got the low-level Molex plug as well as a high level, so you choose which one is best for you. Also, you have a setup disc with all these different settings, so that way you can tune it. There's a punch level volume control option, which is the PLC2, which you can plug in there and you can run it out and use that for external volume control. They do suggest using 8 gauge on here. You get your terminal strip right there. There's your high level or low level audio input feed on that side. Again, no turn on needed, auto sensing. Auto clipping, this is where a lot of the magic on this unit, where this unit really shines, and that's what I'm going to tell you about. But while we got the box open and we're going over everything, let's just keep going with it. For the newbies, if you want to set this thing on to adjust all your settings and your audio outputs, for clipping indicators built into the unit, if you're using the remote volume control, look at that. Step 1, let's do step 10, simple. Easy peasy. Whether if you're a know-it-all audiophile, if you're just a beginner user, who wouldn't benefit from this? We can all use a tune-up and learning from once in a while, so this is good. And it's good when the manufacturer is making all these tools available to make a good thing even better. Check this out. This is something you never see on an amplifier. On the amp itself, it has output clip indicators, so it has blue, blue, red, and red. So you have a multicolor LED, which actually tells you if you're actually getting the most cleanest signal going into this amplifier, so you can have the absolute guaranteed best output. That's something you only find usually in a signal processor. That's built right into the amp, folks. That's pretty good. Moving on to the front side of the amplifier, up here in this little section, input level, EQ, minimum max settings. Here's your EQ in relationship to the bandwidth of frequencies, which starts at 50 and ends up at 250 right over here. Here's your 3-way selector switch. So you could have standard, high pass, or low pass. So you could use this as a full range amplifier. You could cut off high pass and you could limit it anywhere from 250 down, or the same thing for the sub and eliminate everything 250 and up or down to 50, which is super subsonic. That's not even audible. That's just this audible distortion at that point. There's your little terminal strip. So to summarize this amplifier's features, the TM400X2AD, it's loaded with Rockford's constant power technology. This amp will produce the same output at either a 4 ohm or a 2 ohm impedance. So it doesn't matter if you have 2 4 ohms, if you're connecting 2 ohms in series, or if you're doing 2 4 ohms in parallel and you're bringing it down to a 2 ohm load, you're going to get the same audio output power, whether it's at 2 or 4 ohms. It doesn't matter. I mean, that's a first. You'd never hear that before, but I didn't misspeak that. That's the truth. That's how this amplifier is. Technology, people. This amp features very flexible vehicle integration through low-level and high-level inputs, which I showed you before with the auto turn-on, no remote lead needed. The top-mounted controls, which I showed you, built-in crossover, and the C.L.E.A.N, it's spelled C.L.E.A.N, which stands for something, I don't know. Input-output clip detection circuits, which is amazing. The 3-stage thermal lock extrusion. This is important. Dual-fan forced induction keeps everything cool inside this amplifier, because this thing is packed with electronics. It's not $400 on accident. That thing is packed to the max. Brushed aluminum chassis and a marine grade, check this out, 2-part copper board with epoxy coating on the circuit boards ensures that you will continue enjoying the system for the most length of time, as long as you're going to own your motorcycle, UTV, boat, wherever you're going to put this thing in, that thing is going to last. Circuit board is a 4-layer, believe it or not, 2-ounce copper circuit board. That's why this amplifier is not cheap, because copper is not cheap. They use the right stuff in these amplifiers. These amps are designed to perform through dust, sun, corrosion, whatever is beating the hell out of these things. This thing can take it, and then some. The class of the technology in this amplifier is AD. Just like I said in the part number, it says TM400X2AD. AD stands for the type of electronics that this amplifier is giving to you. All the stainless steel hardware on this is marine grade. Twin cooling fans, like I told you, for real-time thermal sensing and anti-overheating circuitry. It's in there. It's thought about. You don't have to worry about it. So if you're putting this on your bike, saddlebags, and it's in a real confined area and it's going to take a ton of heat, don't worry about it. This amplifier has got you covered. Fuse rating. This is a big one. 60 amps times 1. So you know, I've always told you the same stuff about the Ohm's law and the voltage law and Kirchhoff's voltage law, all that kind of stuff. 60 amps times 12 volts. You know that Rockford made this thing to put out a lot more than you're paying for, and that's why it's not cheap, because cheap stuff underrates their stuff and gives you more than what you pay what you should have paid for, while as a cheap product gives you less and boasts that it's so much bigger and better than everything else. It's like most things. It's like real people. You don't have to boast of cheap imitation when you have the real thing, and this is the real thing.